Welcome, everyone. I am so thrilled you're joining us. Today, we're diving into an explainer on what is, quite literally, a massive political earthquake in Tamil Nadu. I mean, think about it. For 60 long years, the political landscape there was basically locked in as this two-party laboratory of Dravidian alliances. You just didn't break that mold. But guess what? That deeply entrenched system has just been turned completely upside down. Actor-turned-politician Vijay and his newly formed TVK party pulled off a historic upset, actually defeating Chief Minister Stalin's DMK. It's a real game-changer, and we're going to break down exactly how this happened by looking objectively at the data and the reports from the ground.
So let's kick things off with a quote that perfectly sets the stage for everything we're about to cover. During the campaign, Vijay dropped this incredibly bold declaration. He said, "There are so many jackals and other animals in the forest, but there will be only one lion. And even if it is single, it will be the king of jungle." Wow, right? That wasn't just campaign rhetoric. That was the literal blueprint for his solo strategy. And what's wild is that political strategist Prashant Kishore actually saw this coming. He predicted this viral phenomenon, saying that if Vijay contested completely alone, he wouldn't just win, he'd eventually surpass even MS Dhoni in statewide popularity. So, to understand how an untested newcomer managed to pull this off, here's our roadmap. We're going to impartially dissect exactly 6 reasons: the Tamil Nadu earthquake, the VMI Foundation, Gen Z and the manifesto, the middle path ideology, the solo lion strategy, and finally, what comes next.
Okay, let's jump right into reason number 1, the Tamil Nadu earthquake.
You know, when a 60-year-old political machine is disrupted, it shakes the whole foundation. The contrast between the old guard and TVK's new playbook is absolutely night and day. Traditionally, you've got this heavy reliance on career politicians and massive, dominant party machinery. But TVK brought absolute disruption. As a total newcomer, they secured over 100 seats. But here is the real genius of it. It's who they actually gave the tickets to. Kind of like N.T. Ramarao's legendary strategy back in 1983, Vijay handed tickets directly to commoners. We're talking auto drivers and everyday citizens, and it created these massive, giant killers. Take 75-year-old V.S. Balu. He was a former DMK worker, joined TVK just months ago, and actually defeated sitting CM Stalin in Kolattur. No way, right? And over in Virugambakam, the son of Vijay's own personal driver, a young guy named Sabrinathan, won the seat. They literally rewrote the political rules overnight.
Moving on to reason number 2, grassroots and the VMI Foundation.
Now, you might be thinking this was just some overnight celebrity wave, right? Actually, scratch that. This timeline completely debunks that myth. Way back in 2009, that's 17 years ago, Vijay founded the Vijay Makkal Iyakkam, or VMI. And get this, it wasn't just a fan club. It was structured exactly like a mini political party, complete with district, youth, and student wings. For over a decade, they were quietly doing the hard work, providing disaster relief, running blood donation camps, offering weekly meals. Then in 2017, they covertly supported the massive Jallikattu movement. By 2021, before TVK even officially existed as a political party, VMI candidates contested local body polls without a party symbol and won an astounding 127 out of 169 seats. So the takeaway here is absolutely crucial. Voters already knew and trusted him as a reliable crisis manager, long before he ever asked for their vote as a politician.
All right, reason number 3, Gen Z and the manifesto. To really get why this upset happened, we absolutely have to talk about the demographics that carried him across the finish line. 84.6%. That is a massive voter turnout. Usually, a turnout that high means a huge anti-incumbency wave. But sources show this was heavily driven by first-time voters and the youth demographic. They totally transformed from just being movie fans into these active, incredibly dedicated political cadres. And their dedication was fierce. Even when a tragic stampede happened in Karur, which led to a CBI inquiry and a ton of heavy political criticism, it didn't dent their momentum one bit. They showed up in historic numbers to shatter traditional voting patterns.
Now let's look at the manifesto and see how it fueled all that youth enthusiasm. These are TVK's 10 guarantees, and they were aimed squarely at the future. They rolled out some highly practical promises: $2,500 monthly for women, 6 free gas cylinders, marriage support like gold and silk saris, complete farmer loan waivers, free electricity, and specific youth startup loans. But here's the kicker, the structural innovation that's just a real game changer. Instead of just shouting these promises from a podium, Vijay made every single one of his candidates take a formal public oath that they would implement these guarantees without corruption. Boom! It instantly signaled a whole new level of accountability to a public that was frankly deeply cynical. Which brings us to reason number 4, the middle path ideology.
So how in the world do you appeal to such a massive base without alienating core voter blocks? Well, you walk a very careful ideological tightrope. See, Tamil Nadu politics has long been dominated by the rationalist, anti-caste teachings of Periyar. Vijay totally embraced Periyar's vision of social justice and a casteless society, but he strategically blended that with a very deep vocal respect for traditional religious faith. It's like a giant puzzle, right? By refusing to alienate the traditionalists while still firmly upholding social justice, he successfully positioned himself as this perfect bridge between the older generation and the new.
Let's dive into reason number 5, the solo lion strategy.
I gotta say, this is arguably the most disruptive and fascinating tactical move of the entire election. Traditionally, politics here has heavily relied on complex alliances. We're talking shared seat agreements and power distribution between giants like the DMK, AIADMK, the BJP, and Congress. It's safe, sure, but it dilutes power. While TVK completely threw out the regional alliance playbook, they contested 233 out of 234 seats entirely solo. They skipped Palaniswamy's seat strategically, but everywhere else, they went head-to-head with the giants. Vijay himself even contested and won in both rural Tiruchi East and urban Paramur. This single-party approach signaled just an immense amount of confidence. It basically told the voters, we don't need the establishment, we are the alternative.
And finally, reason number 6. What comes next?
At the end of the day, you have to realize that voters were just heavily fatigued. After 60 years of faction fights, dynasty politics, and entrenched corruption, they were desperately looking for an exit ramp, and Joseph Vijay Chandrasekhar successfully projected himself as that secular, clean break from the past. Because he didn't bring any prior political baggage, had absolutely no historical scandals, and possessed a proven track record of actual NGO work, the electorate decided, you know what, let's take a chance on an untested fresh start.
All of this leaves us with one final massive question. Can a newcomer actually survive without alliances in the long run? I mean, it is one thing to win an election as a solo disruptor. It is an entirely different beast to actually govern a huge state with zero political alliances and a cabinet full of first-timers. The challenges ahead for TVK are absolutely monumental. Will this single-party disruption become the new normal in India? Or will the harsh realities of governance force him right back to the traditional playbook? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Analyze the data we shared in this explainer today and let me know your conclusions. Thank you so much for joining me, and as always,